Hello everybody. Hello. Uh, in this movie, I will you explain present my presentation geological mapping the importance of stratigraphy in mapping. Okay. Uh, we have to know that uh, for doing the geological mapping, we have to know something like that. Um, what is the geological mapping? What is the geological map? And what competence or what the geological have to do know uh, for doing the geological mapping? Okay, so we we go to see what does mean the geological mapping. After try to expand the geological map, and uh, in the last time we go to see uh, what importance have the stratigraphy in geological in mapping. Okay, let us go. Okay. 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 Here we have the map. Here we have the map, and we go to see explain what is the geological mapping. Geological mapping is a mean of describing geological features that include rocks, type, contact edge, relation, and structural pattern, and send the future in the three dimension. Okay, we have look at here. Here we have the legend of the map, and we can see in this map every many things like that, the rocks and contact or air relation, age relation between the different element in the map, like that. We have sea, we have the mountain. Depend on the localization or the place who the geolog have to do the map. Okay, and geological map or geological map is a previously oriented scaled down diagram of the earth surface. We have the geological map is that representation. It is a representation of somewhere who we have the rock seen, and everything or many things. Its position on it is shown by line of latitude and longitude of geographic boundaries. That means so if you want to do the geological map, we have to know the longitude or and the latitude, but because it's very important. It's very important to localize to do this localization. Okay. The orientation also is very important. The size and the position of geological feature can be compared exactly with the other map. Okay, if you want to do also the geological map, we have to know that what is the situation, what is the situation before your work, what you does know before to do another map in the same localization or the same place. Okay, a geological map does show the following: the distribution of rock at the surface. Alright, if you do the geological map, it's a very important to see what position or where we have to or we can to localize the rocks. Also, the geological structure, the cross section and distribution of rocks and the subsurface, and age relation is very very important. Okay, so let us go to see the geological mapping steps. We know if you want to do the the good map or the good geological map, we have we have to be methodic. It's very very important. So you can it's very very important because we can't do the geological map without these steps. The first is the reconnaissance. So it's very important to you have to know what you what the position, what is the position, what the what you have to know also the area where you want to do your geological mapping to make sure the area is suitable for plan study. It's very important you will be make very very sure if the area where you want to do your mapping, if it is very very suitable to enable proper planning of the file, planning of the campaign in line of time and funds available. It's very very important. Here we have the task of geologic or file geologist. Uh, uh, it's very also important because if you want to do something in in a geology, you have to have a competent and but you have to know also every many things. Uh, the geologist also, can be or have to observing and recording the location of outcomes, the description of strata. Okay, location of outcomes is that where you can do where you have to do the area about you have to do your geological map. The description of strata is here. We have to do also the deeper position of the strat. Also, it's a very very important to know many things in the stratigraphy. It's very important for do your geological mapping. That is why we will see in this presentation what important we can have the stratigraphy in geological. Stratigraphy of strata, contact relationship between strata, yes, structural distribution of rock units. We see here this etap have also in the stratigraphy, the strata, the distribution of rock, position this data into areas of depth where direct observation is impossible. Yes, interpretation of geological history in mineral exploitation, time instead of mineralization. All this information we have to do to know. Here we have the required skills of the file geologist. What competence must we have the geologist. Here you have basic file mapping skills, core login or trade hall, integration and interpretation of geophysical data, utilization of geochemical analysis, compilation and integration of existing data into mapping. And we have all this information, all this competence the geologists have to must be have. If no, he can't do the geological mapping. And here we have the result of reconnaissance. Does mean that about after you do your reconnaissance, after you do reconnaissance, you have to you must be have the resultant, and this option we have the assessment of the road network and accessibility, land ownership, land ownership, okay, accommodation or camping, okay, a general general strategy on how and when to start to the study, okay. Here we have the field work, geological mapping. Here we have the equipment required. Okay, we must, we have to need the um, the map. Here we have the image of the satellite. You have to need also the notebook, and we have GPS. It's also very important. The hammer geological, and we have to need also the camera. It's very important. Here we have what to map. Yeah, what to map. It's very important. You can't do the geological mapping if you don't know what you can map. So we have now the rock tip and their contact. We have now also the shape of the rock bodies. We have not the sequence and relative edge, not also the primary porosity and permeability, not the veteran and their pattern, not depositional or magmatic flow feature, and you have to know the geologic structure and the geothermal manifestations. And the last step in my presentation, it is the importance of stratigraphy in the creation of a geological map. So before we continue, we have to give the definition of the stratigraphy. The stratigraphy is a discipline of extension which studies the section of different geological layers or strata. Okay. And we have to see that the method that developing relatively independently are then ransomed in the more general approaches. This method have a relationship with the mapping, because every method in the theory in stratigraphy has the relationship with the geological mapping. If you take the chronostratigraphy, we have to see it seeks to establish a geological time scale as precise and reliable as possible by organizing the elementary data that constitute. It's very important, because we can do the geological mapping if you have not the information about the time, information about the space, the area. It's very important, because that is why the chronostratigraphy, it is the method of the stratigraphy. It's very important in the geological mapping. Also, we have the sequential stratigraphy. Here it is very important in the geological map, because it's exploiting seismic research, seeks to shed light on the relative organization of sedimentary beds in connection with critical variation in sea level on a regional scale. We see, if you have to do the geological mapping, we have to know also the sea level, the relationship between the sea and the mountain. That is why that is something like that. it's very very important. That is why sequential stratigraphy, the method, it is also the method of the stratigraphy. It's very important in the geological mapping. Here we have about the stratigraphy, the stratigraphy, the sequential stratigraphy, stratigraphy sequential. Okay, it's a very important. You can see the main aim of this. It is to reconstitute how sediment file a basin and fluid by how the stratigraphy was formed in space and time. This can help scientists and exploration geology to figure out many important things like how sea level change and where coarse and fine grained sediment are located. We see it's very important in the geological mapping. The genetic stratigraphy seeks to identify general sedimentary model for forecasting underground in the absence of complete data. Also, very important in the geography. We have to need this method of stratigraphy in geological mapping. And hydrostratigraphy, we have hydro does mean water, and we stratigraphy. So here also we talk about apply the about the stratigraphy to the file of hydrothermalism and more generally of hydrology, hydrogeology. Okay. And in particular to occur and deep water likely to be affected, for example, by deep traveling, naturally more or less stable. This is also very important. Here you have this picture. It is the geological sequence, the stratigraphy sequential. The picture about the stratigraphy sequential. And thank you for the attention.